You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Sometimes we need to slow down and remember the simple pleasures in life. Good coffee, good books, and good company. Come on in. Take a seat. The coffee's just been brewed. Let's see who we have in the coffee shop today. All right, I'm looking for a book. A book on a table. There's a book, and the title of it is The Boys You Don't Take Home. Game Secrets. And the name on the book is Alexander Atlas. How you doing today, Alexander?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Couldn't be better. Always enjoyed my time in the coffee shop. Now, you've written a pretty interesting titled book. What's it about?
It's about relationships, dealing with the player, the mama's boy, the bad boy, and the scrub. I basically explain from jaw-dropping true story times to heartfelt game jewels, a lot of the boy secrets that eventually end in heartbreak and turmoil for most vulnerable women. So it's basically like a dating guide and a failed relationship, an anti-failed relationship book. How you can avoid failed relationships and how you can get back from a failed relationship.
Sounds fascinating. Now, this is not your first book.
No, it's not. It's my second book. It's part of this book's a part of a series. My first book would be The Girls You Don't Take Home. Girls You Don't Take Home to Mama, actually. That's for males. And the second book, which is this book, The Boys You Don't Take Home Game Secrets, which is dedicated for women.
Sounds interesting, definitely. So what has the response been to these books?
I got a lot of positive responses. A lot of women, are taking heed to the information provided. They're asking additional questions. A lot of women that have been through a lot of failed relationships, I always ask questions, where was this book at years ago? I have a lot of people contact me on their current relationship problems or relationship developing in their lives. How should they go about things? Pretty much, basically, I done got so much positive reviews and so many questions that I started working on the second book, The Boys You Don't Take Home Part 2. But overall, all the reviews have been great. I haven't had a bad or negative review yet.
Oh, everybody gets one once in a while, but who knows? Maybe it'll be a guy that's just mad he gave away his secrets.
I hope so. I hope I get a negative review. It makes you want to up your game more, your writing game more. So
now, you have lived through all these events?
Yes, all these events I've lived through personally, experienced them or been a part of them or was on the sideline watching them.
So it was you and your buddies, for lack of a term, going through all this drama.
Yeah, me and all my friends. Yeah, I couldn't speak on somebody else that was thousands of miles away that I seen on the internet what they was going through, or somebody I watch on TV or follow off of Instagram or what they're going through. These are all actual people that I know and true life experience that I've been through personally. So you won't hear anything about this per se, Kardashians or nothing like that. These are all real people that have real lives.
Now, did you change the names to protect the innocent and the guilty?
Of course. You got to give people an opportunity to change their lives, not be ridiculed or looked down upon. So all the names have been changed. Dates, locations. Sometimes you got to maneuver around certain events that happen within each story time, so people won't realize who it was.
I'll bet your friends all figured out who it was, though.
For the most part, like a couple of people that are in the books, they say they don't even they don't mind. They wanted their real names to be used, but I just felt better that it would just be, just change the name so you don't have to never risk any legal repercussions later on down the road for defamation of character. But pretty much everybody, they enjoyed it.
Well, that's cool. Was it fun to write this book, or what? First of all, what made you choose to write books on these topics and not create a fictional world where dinosaurs are flying around?
Well, that's funny you mentioned that because I have a couple of fiction novels that I finished that I'm currently in the process of getting published. But these two topics on women relationship and male relationships, I went through heartbreak myself, and I went through a lot of difficult experiences and unique situations in my relationships. So I have a lot of friends I've been through it too, so they always ask me questions. And they, from day in and day out, I get questions about what you should do, what should I do, and I just got tired of repeating myself, so I put it all in the book. When the first book came out, The Girls You Don't Take Home to Mama, I had a lot of women readers that read it and asked, "What about the boys?" So I felt like it was only right to write about the boys too.
Sounds fair to me. Now, you mentioned that there's a sequel coming. Is this going to go into different types of relationship problems or different types of guys? And what are the main types of guys you discuss in The Boys You Don't Take Home?
So there's a series. So normally how I'm following my format is it started with The Girls You Don't Take Home to Mama, and then it's The Boys You Don't Take Home Game Secrets, and then I'll go back to The Girls You Don't Take Home Part 2, and then it'll be The Boys You Don't Take Home Part 2. So the people that are mentioning, the characters that are mentioning, or types or subjects that are mentioned in The Boys You Don't Take Home Game Secrets is the mama's boy, the player, the bad boy, and the scrub. And then,
okay, what's a scrub?
It's a person that has a lack of motivation and no responsibilities and doesn't attend to his obligations in life.
Okay, I think everybody knows what a mama's boy is. Now, what were the others?
The player and the bad boy.
All right, how do you define the player?
Player attends to the company of many, has multiple women, and is sexually active with multiple women, and views himself as a prize in the game that he's playing where he doesn't want anybody else to win him. So basically, he keeps himself in the midst of many women, and it's like he'll play on their emotions to see what he can get out of them, and he moves on to one woman after the next woman.
Sounds interesting. And so you actually, does this read like a fiction book, where you follow these characters around and go through the heartbreak with them? Or is this more of this is how you handle this type of guy?
It's more like it's a novel self-help. So as you go into the book, I describe a lot about myself and the things I was going through. And I give you which book Game Secrets, and then it goes into a story time. So you'll get a dose of a little self-help, and then it'll go going straight into a story. So it'll be like a novel, self-help novel. I read a lot of self-help books, and it felt like I was being lectured to. This book is more like it's like a one-on-one adventure, but you're also gaining knowledge and understanding and wisdom, as well as being entertained.
I was going to say, nobody likes to feel like they're being talked at or lectured to.
I agree.
So I think using stories and anecdotes is a great way of trying to explain it.
I think that's the only way, because if you give so much, if you're constantly explaining, sometimes a person loses interest, or I'm saying a lot of times a person loses interest. You will want somebody to engage in your book, because at the end of the day, when you write a book, you want to provoke a response. You always, like, whether it's negative or positive, at least you provoke a response, but 9 times out of 10, you want a positive response. You want somebody to also finish your book.
Well, if you didn't want somebody to read it, I doubt you would have published it.
I agree.
Now, you've written the shadowy side of both sides of dating. Did you use a professional editor to help you pull all of it together and make sure the book read well and things like that? Because you are a self-published author.
Right, correct. Yeah, I used a couple editors. I had my first book. I used my mom actually helped me put together the first book. She read over everything, and she was kind of upset. But I use Amazon Create Space. They have editors you can use there. I also have personal people that do editing. So you always gotta make sure your editing's right.
I was gonna say, I've read some fantastic self-published books and fantastic traditionally published books, but the reverse is also true. I've read lousy self-pub and lousy traditional pub, and the one thing I felt both of the lousy ones usually needed was a better editor.
Right. And then, like, another thing on editing, like, you're self-published. What reads to you great might not read to everybody else great. So you do need not one, not two, at least 3 or 4 sets of eyes to look at your material. Because you may not catch it, the second person might not catch it, the third person, the fourth person might catch something that they all miss. And it's also good, like, having somebody read, like, for my audience, my target audience will be, like, for the boys who don't, will be women. I will want multiple women to read this before I publish it to see if they can conceive the information that I'm trying to provide for them and how they take it in.
Now, this book is pretty topical with all the stuff that's been going around social media with the Me Too movement and things like that. What has your reaction to all that been? And do you think this is a book that women should be trying to reach out for and get the information out of so they don't get essentially taken advantage of or played?
I feel if you're in a relationship and everything's perfect and everything's good, you don't need to read this book. But if you're in a relationship where you're always contradicting yourself, you always are always being lied to, or you assume something's going on, you should read this. If you just got out of a third relationship, you should read this. If you just started back dating, you should read this. If you have friends that are constantly asking you for relationship advice, you should refer them to read this book. But if you have a happy relationship, you're on a house on the hill, you got a white picket, you're good to go. You don't have to read this. You reach your point of happiness.
I was going to say, I am faithfully and happily married, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Although I'll probably still read the book just out of amusement at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I have people read it that are happily married, and they're thankful that they have a real man in their life, are happily married, and not have to go through a lot of this stuff. It's funny that you bring it up because it's crazy because the other day I had somebody ask me the advice on dating on Tinder, like the do's and don'ts. I was like, I've never dated on an online social site, so I don't know. I mean, it's going to the point, like, I think social media and the internet is taking the dating, because back in the day we used to, like, go to the mall or go to a party, you meet somebody you take interest in. Nowadays, I'm saying, it's just a click of the button, left swipe, right swipe, and you meet a stranger, you know what I'm saying? And then behind, with the internet, anybody can be anybody they want to be. You know what I mean? So the dating game is definitely gone 0 to 100 to a whole new realm. And you have to be prepared because a lot of people play these games.
Do you think social media and the internet has damaged the dating game or just altered it forever?
I mean, with social media, per se, somebody can, like I mentioned this in the book, like social media, it's called fake it till you make it. Somebody can be on social media and put on a perfect image, make it look like they're successful, they have a house on the hill, they're doing real great. You know what I mean? In actuality, you know what I mean? His house on the hill was his mom's house. I mean, the pictures that he was taking was probably his dad's watches he's wearing. You know what I mean? And it puts a persona on that make women gravitate towards him. And it just, I mean, the role playing, the fake it till you make it, the actors. I think a lot of people are with social media are easily able to put on a persona that they're not, but it can come off genuine on social media. So that takes a lot of people off guard because, seeing is believing. If you're seeing it, then they have to be doing it. And then I think everyone's following this trend. And so if you got somebody that appears to be rich, I mean, you're liable to go the extra mile for them. If that's what the other person of interest is seeking in the person of question. But I feel like social media has made the dating game go crazy. And for the internet, I mean, people can be whoever they want to be. They can post a 10-year picture, and you can be talking to this person for a year before you meet them, or 6 months, or 2 months, and you feel like emotionally attached to a person that you think is this person in this picture, the person that you're talking to. In actuality, I mean, it's not really that person. I mean, how many episodes of Catfish have you watched? When this guy fell in love with this girl, and it turns out to be another guy. So I think the internet, social media, has taken the dating game to a whole new twist.
Well, actually, I do sort of play that game. Jesse, and I have said this before on air, so I will say it again, is a pseudonym. But my reasons for using a pseudonym on the internet aren't because I'm trying to get anyone to fall in love with me. It's actually to protect the ones I love.
That's perfectly understandable, but that's not what I was. You're doing it. This is what you're doing right now. Podcast, a business. So it's like a business under an LLC. You know what I mean? This is your establishment. What I'm talking about, and the fake it till you make it, as a person purposely putting on this persona to gainfully benefit themselves. So that's like me saying that put on a persona that I'm rich and I'm looking for somebody that can help. And I'm saying that wants to get money with me. In actuality, I'm looking for somebody that's really that can provide, so I can get to where I want to get. But I'm gonna fake it and make it look like I'm doing good, because who wants to, who somebody that's doing something that has a career job, who would want to take interest in somebody that's working at McDonald's if that's what they're looking for? But maybe so. But with social media, I mean, you can work at McDonald's but make it look like you own a McDonald's. You'll have a better way of gaining interest of those women that are in a higher tax bracket, or have career jobs, or have their own house, or able to provide. You can grab their attention.
So have you watched people's social media lies come back to bite them in real life?
Of course. I seen a couple of friends. They get on social media. You would think they were successful. You would think they hit the lottery, and people see that. A lot of times, you have women that are involved with illicit other people, and they reach out to some of these guys that look like they're getting a lot of money, or they're real successful, only to set them up and take what they have, or what they think they have. I mean, we see it on the news all the time. You know what I mean? So people get robbed, people get their houses broken in. What was you saying?
Oh, I totally understand, and it seems that your book is almost a cautionary tale on more than one level.
Oh yeah. I mean, I tell about that fake it till you make it. That's just one chapter. There's so many deceitful tricks and traps that are in the game now. Like, I got a chapter called "His Kids, Our Kids," where he'll bring his kids from a previous relationship to a woman that doesn't have children of her own. Women are most of the time nurturing human. So when they see a child, they take heed to the child. You know what I'm saying? Because they're nurturing women. Now, genuine affection will overcome in time for this child. And one of the tricks is his kids, our kids. He'll push on his children onto the women in question that he's dating or trying to get to know. I mean, and for her to gain genuine affection towards his kids. So if they're in a relationship and she genuinely have affection for his kids, I mean, he's liable to do anything, or he'll use the kids as pawns to get her to do what he needs her to do, or prevent her from leaving, because he'll say, like, my kids think they're their new mom, or my kids love you. Don't break their hearts. And that's just one of the leverages that he'll use. I mean, to get somebody, to get a person that is able to provide for him, or to hold on to a person that's able to provide for him while he continues to play the game. It's just so many levels that are mentioned in the book, and it applies to a lot of people, but they just don't see it at the time. But when it's all said and done, after the breakup, after they done took a car loan out on their car to help somebody out, to help this person in interest of dating with, I mean, after it's all said and done, he runs off with, has a person in bankruptcy or going into bankruptcy, or they're counting negatives. They finally realize, oh, it was all a game. He played me.
Now, in your book with the internet and social media, do you ever mention how to be safe when you're meeting someone you've never met in person, but you've talked to on social media? Do you ever mention the personal security and safety tips?
On the social media, I I mentioned that I have a whole social media chapter written for part 2. I just thought, like, for the boys you don't take home game secrets for the current, it's for like the person in the current relationship or just got done with a failed relationship. That when I go into the social media relationship, meeting somebody online, like there's so many tips and so many key things you have to look out for. I mean, that can be a 1,000-page book, and I felt like I want to get the attention of a lot of women without making a book that's too long and not too short. That's there, gets the message across, gives some entertainment, get some laughs. So when part 2 comes out, they'll be more inclined to read everything that's in detail. But there, I have a social media a section for part 2. That's needed. That's needed as well. I feel as though people can't be too naive with social media, because like social media is like back in the day when you just get on the date line or the party line. You don't know who you're talking to on the phone. You don't know who you're meeting with. You gotta be careful. It's crazy out here in this world today.
Yes, it is crazy. And I have personally experienced some of that craziness, but we'll talk more about that at another time. Now, when you were writing this, did you ever have any of your friends come up to you and say, don't give away my secrets, man, or anything like that? Did you ever get any blowback from your friends or anybody telling you not to put this stuff out?
Nah, I had a couple of friends said they're gonna be mad at you. But I mean, if you're a genuine guy, if you're a real, like I call him a real one, a real man, this book will not affect you. This book is gonna make the woman that whoever you're dating, the woman that you're dating, she's gonna have more appreciation for you, because she's not going through what a lot of these women are going through that read this book. So I mean, I haven't had any negative feedback from males or my friends.
Now, what do you say to the players out there who might stumble across this book?
Oh, you gotta step your game up. They definitely have to step their game up now. They better come up with some new techniques and new tactics.
And what advice do you give to the woman that thinks she has a real man and finds herself with someone who is in reality just using her, other than to get out?
It's funny you mentioned that, because I had somebody email me, and they wanted to know if I'm coming out, would I come out with a book that helps a person that's in a relationship that's getting played, how to play back, how to fight back. So I don't necessarily, like, anybody that's ever been in a situation they want to seek revenge or get judgment back or justice back. You know what I'm saying? They would want to know, okay, if he's doing this, this, and this, so how do I get him back? I really didn't want to venture into that, because I wanted to keep it on a positive light, because, you know what I'm saying, doing wrong, you could do wrong, but try to solve wrong with wrong doesn't make a right.
No, two wrongs never make a right. Now, while you're telling these anecdotes and writing these stories, do you ever sit there and wonder about your past and the path that you walked? And how did your family react when you put this book out?
Well, for the girls, you don't. Like I said, my mom read it first before it was typed up, and she was kind of upset. She was kind of mad, but it was a learning process that I was going through. Huh? What'd you say?
How did your wife react when you came out with this book?
Oh, well, for the boys who don't, she thought the girls who don't was pretty funny, but for the boys who don't, she gets a little irritated. Because my wife's actually been through some of those situations in the boys who don't, so she feels, it's just life learned lessons that when you get with somebody that's going to appreciate you and acknowledge you more, you're proud to have that. And looking back, when you read the book, it'll make you reminisce about the past and all the difficult times and difficult situations that you were brought upon in bad relationship partners.
When you were going through the editing process, was there anything you had to take out just to make the book work, or that you wanted to include but you couldn't for whatever reason?
Of course, with the girls you don't, I had to take out a lot of stuff that would incriminate some people, For the boys you don't, I had to take out a lot of things that I was real blunt about, and I had to like return them around and make them more conceivable because the truth hurts. The truth is not always handsome or beautiful. It's most of the time it's dark and ugly. So with that, can be especially when you're writing a book, trying to giving or providing knowledge, insight, and wisdom and understanding, it has to be conceived in a certain way. Like with the girls, I felt it was fun to write that book. I mean, so I really wrote it. It's really a high roller coaster ride book. It's a lot of insight. It's a lot of crazy stories in there. It's gonna make you laugh. For the boys, it'll be I had to rewrite it over and over again to be conceived by an emotional. Well, I felt like more the type of reader would be an emotional woman coming out of heartbreak or going through heartbreak. So it had to be more gentle.
That's an interesting perspective. Now, you're working on not one but 2 sequels. What prompted you to decide to do the sequels and take it to the next level? Have there been new developments in your personal life?
So for the girls you don't take home part 1, the girls you don't take home to mama, it lists 4 characteristics, maybe some would say 4 job occupations of certain class, certain standard women that are involved when you're dating these type of women. Same goes for the boys you don't, which will be the player, the mama's boy, the scrub, and the bad boy. So part 2 of the girls you don't is going to go more into like characteristic and personality traits, and then part 2 for the boys you don't it's going to up the ante because a lot of males these days are evolving. So you'll have a player and a bad boy into one, which I would call like a hybrid. So we'll talk more towards there's game secrets, just like game secrets that are like common, and then there'll be the uncommon game secrets where you'll have a dude that will play with your mental. And say for instance, one of the chapters in the Boys You Don't Take Home Part 2 is he'll want you to move out of your common area, your a place, say your home city where you're used to. He'll want you to move, take you out of your common element, so you'll solely lean on him. He won't let you go out. He'll move you across the state lines, and he'll get you in the area where he can isolate you, and he'll break you down mentally. So it goes into a more harsher mental perspective of the game.
Yeah, when you were listing off those things, I'm sitting here going, warning sign, warning sign, warning sign, warning sign. Kept flashing in my head. Wait a minute. Now, I have moved for my husband, but that's because he's military. So it kind of does put it in a slightly different perspective.
Oh no, your situation is totally different. Now, for a person like dealing with one of these type of guys in question, I mean, but love is blind. That first things first, love is blind. So your heart will tell you to go, while your mind's telling you no. But your heart will overrule what your mind's telling you. And a lot of times, a lot of vulnerable women will listen to their heart instead of thinking with their mind, and it leads to chaos and destruction.
So, what are your top 3 tips for men that are looking for a real woman to bring home to?
Patience. You have to be patient. The girl of your dreams is not going to be found at a bar or a club or even a nightclub. So just have patience. You know what I'm saying? And number 2 is for a man looking for somebody of the right one. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You really have to know and find out what's her morals, her foundation, what she believes in, her goals, what does she want out of life, what has she done in life, and what is she looking towards life. And the third one is if you're compatible. Is she compatible for you? Can you see yourself building a family, building a life with this person in question? Those would be the top 3 things.
Now, what are your top 3 points of advice for the women looking for that real man?
Trying to find a real man. Well, number 1 is all women have to understand soulmates are not found; they're molded and crafted. Number 2 is you got to have patience. Most of the time we're human. We want everything right now. We want everything right this minute. We don't want to wait. We want it right now. A lot of times when a person goes out looking for somebody that's in their mind frame of wanting it right now, they're going to find the wrong one. So you got to have patience. Just like in the first category, you got to have patience. Number 3 is if you know what you want, like when you're dating somebody, it's not like going to the car dealership and picking out that new car. Oh, I want it red. I want a leather interior. I want a sunroof. I want those all black 20-inch rims on it. It's not. That's not. You're not gonna find your man like that. I'm saying if they had man dealerships where you can go there, you can pick the perfect man out. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone will go there, but we don't. So you need it. So a woman looking for a man of their liking or one that's right for them needs to make a list of their own, what they would satisfy for, what they'll settle for. Like, does he have a career job? Is he enthused about work? Is he codependent or independent? Do you want somebody that's codependent or independent? Do you want somebody that's going to be able to help provide for you, or do you want to take care of somebody? Do you want somebody that wants to have a family life, or you want somebody that's going to be off and on? So if for the women that are looking for a real man or looking for a man of their dream, they need to make a list of what they'll settle for. So once they make their list and they meet somebody, if they don't meet that criteria, whatever criteria is on their list, they can just check them off and move on to the next person.
I think that's really good advice. Now, we have come to the time where it is point in the show where it is time to pay the radio station bills. So I am going to pour Alexander a fresh cup of coffee. And we are going to take a commercial break, and I will see you on the other side.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. healthcare, freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty HealthShare and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Thank y'all for hanging in there with us while we paid those radio station bills. And yes, I just poured myself a fresh cup of coffee. And of course, Alexander Atlas is still with us, and we are discussing his book, The Boys You Don't Take Home, Game Secrets. Now, Alexander, you have probably seen quite a number of interesting and unusual situations in having to have enough information to fill a book.
Right.
How did your friends feel when you first decided you were going to actually write all these anecdotes and stories down? I mean, were they like, "No, man, I don't want you putting that in the book"?
No, it was quite opposite. They wanted to make sure, don't forget my story, don't forget that one time. So they was really enthralled about it.
That's cool. That is cool. And I liked what you had to say about using multiple editors and multiple eyes on your work before you publish it, because I've read fantastic self-pub and lousy self-pub, and the difference usually comes down to the editing.
Right.
A well-edited book will always come across better. Now, in this book, do you address race or culture in any way?
I felt that while writing this book, I left out all race and culture out, because not one particular race is is more dominant in playing these games. So I took all race out, all culture out. So this can apply to anybody and everybody. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, what background you're from, what middle class, low class, upper class. It can happen to anybody. So I felt race was not a factor or even a topic of discussion in the relationship book.
Now, you've mentioned occupations previously, and you said there are certain occupations that you think people who are dating and looking for real relationships should steer clear of. What are those?
Well, in the I talked about the first book, and the girls you don't take home game, the girls you don't take home to mama. I was explaining certain type of women that we'll just say the adult entertainment lifestyle. So I was explaining those type of job, getting involvement with those type of women in question that are in that field.
Do you name specific occupations in your book?
Yeah, I do. I actually said adult entertainment. It'd be exotic dancers. You got the adult entertainers. I say skeezers.
Okay, what's a skeezer?
A skeezer it's a skeezer / slut, promiscuous woman that sleeps around a lot.
Very interesting.
So
now
that is very interesting.
I just find the terms are interesting myself, because these aren't terms I've ever encountered. I assume you define them in your book?
Oh, yes, I do. We got the stripper / escort. I mean, the stripper / exotic dancer. You got the escort, and you got the a porn star, and then you got the skeezer slut, and the girls you don't take home to mama. And then the girls you don't take home to mama part 2. You got the gold digger, the crazy stalker, the psychomaniac, and the ratchet.
All right, what's the ratchet?
The ratchet is a woman that does not control her emotions and is liable to do a violent or uncontrollable outburst at any time, anywhere. And she doesn't think past a minute. liable to explode at any given time.
Now,
She
do you
doesn't
think
care what.
some of these categories could also be applied to men?
Oh yeah, of course. For the boys, you don't take on the hybrids and the manipulators, the psychomaniacs that will stalk you, follow you, track your phone, track your car.
It's funny you mentioned tracking phones and tracking cars, because there's a movie out that's been very popular that actually uses a lot of tracking of cell phones, and that would be the 50 Shades series.
Oh yeah.
Christian Grey is forever tracking.
Oh yeah. The laptop, the phones. I read the first book. I thought it was good, but the second book didn't catch my attention.
I just find it interesting that you mentioned that as a stalker, because in some ways, Christian Grey could be seen as a stalker.
Man, anytime your phone's being tracked or you're being tracked without your acknowledgement, that person is stalking you.
I have to say, things only end well when they're being stalked in the movies. There's no real life good ending to being stalked.
No. I feel as though if a person has to go to that extreme level, they shouldn't even be with the person that they have to stalk or track their whereabouts.
So you encourage people in real relationships to build a level of trust?
Of course. Well, I had a friend, his girlfriend wanted to, I'm saying, she recommended, let's share each other's locations. I guess, well, I got an iPhone too, but with the iPhone you can share each other's locations. So I guess whenever you want to see where your person in question that you're sharing location is, you can just check on it and see where they're at. But they were sharing each other's locations, and at one point in time, the woman in question that asked to share each other's location turned her location off. So when my friend went to go check her location, it was turned off. So he asked her why, and she gave a pretty good excuse that, I updated my phone. You update your iPhone every month or so. Updating the phone, and then I guess it turned off the location. I'm sorry. So he was like, okay, that's a logical answer. You know what I mean? So they turned the locations back on, and then not 3-4 days later, she turned it off again. And he called me and asked me about it, and like he was kind of real nervous and curious why she would do that. What should she think? And I just told him, just play it cool. You know what I mean? Just come at her and ask her, or maybe you should just forget about the whole location thing. If you don't trust her to the point where you gotta advocate or argue about the location, then maybe that ain't the one for you. And a lot of people don't think they'll hear something, but in actuality, you're gonna go with their own, with the decisions they have in their head or the choices they want to make. So he got into an argument with her about the location thing. I'm just like, for me, if I have to go through all that, then I'm the person that I'm with, and I have to go through locations and tracking. I shouldn't be with you.
I don't share my location with anybody, even my spouse, so I can see why that would send up several red flags. Now, what's one of the favorite anecdotes that that didn't make it into the book? There's got to be one that you didn't get to put in there.
That right there, what I just told you, the phone. I put it's somewhat into the girls you don't take home to mama for men, but for the boys you don't take home, I was basically saying that you don't have to, like, I mentioned the phone, like constantly calling somebody, whether you call them one time or 100 times, you're gonna get the same results. If he's not gonna answer you on the first 2 calls, even on the 100th call, it's gonna be the same result. So I put on, don't be a bugaboo. I gave a fine line of the definition of being a bugaboo, which is invading a person's personal mobile space of peace. So basically, it's like if you're constantly calling somebody, you're invading their personal space, their mobile space. So I put that in there, and I was like, one of my friends told me I should take it out. Because I was really like, I'm really making fun of somebody, because I was like if you got to call multiple times and get upset over somebody that doesn't want to talk to you, I'm saying you're not affecting them, you're only affecting yourself, because they know what they're doing. 9 times out of 10, a person has their phone off, and 10 times out of 10, they have caller ID, so they know who's calling. So it makes no sense for you to call their phone and they're blatantly putting you on voicemail. What's the difference in you saying *667 your phone so you call up a block? They know it's you. So whether you call 1,000 times or one time, if they don't want to talk to you, they're not going to talk to you. They'll talk to you when they're available to talk to you. And a lot of people, I mean, they start getting concerned or start thinking somehow she got in a car crash or he got in a car crash or something happened, something went wrong. And then they take a genuine concern that the person's not answering the phone, and it becomes a frustration and madness. So I always when I mentioned that topic in the book, Bugaboo and all that, I was encouraged that I should just take it out because the book was giving encouragement, and it was more like I'm sitting here on a one-on-one conversation with the reader as opposed to lecturing. They said that chapter was more like lecturing, and I'm like talking down on a person that uses their phone or calls a person of interest, a person or the boy in question multiple times. That's foolish to do, you know. So that was one of the chapters that I was taking out.
Has writing these books strengthened your own personal relationship?
I believe so. I mean, my wife, she goes back and mentions certain chapters, or she'll comment on one of my phrases I say. I just feel like in life you go through everything and have losses, and these are road called life, the journey that we take, and it's not how many obstacles come your way, it's how you get over the obstacles. So that makes you the better person of today. Because to want love, you have to know what hate is. To want pleasure, you have to gone through pain. So I feel like when I write, I express a lot of my pain and a lot of frustrations that I went through that can hopefully encourage other people to go, other people that are going through it or been through it. You know what I'm saying? It does get better over time. So, and then within my own relationship, just getting it out in the air is good. Because a lot of times people keep a lot of their stuff bottled up, and it affects their ongoing relationship. Like over a fair relationship, they keep everything bottled up, their personal feelings and emotions, and it carries over to the next relationship. When it carries over to the next relationship, we call it like a shattered heart. So they haven't got everything out or relieved all the frustration they was going through in the last relationship, and they bring all that strain and heartache to the next new relationship, and then it affects that.
So basically, you're telling people to lose the baggage.
You have to. How can you start new when you're still carrying the old?
I think that is outstanding advice. Now, for someone who's struggling to lose that baggage, do you make suggestions on how to do it?
Oh yeah, of course. Dealing with rejection, getting over. I mentioned the chapter's called "You Must Burn." It's sometimes you will get all the correct advice, all the advice you can ever get, but you still won't listen. I mean, and eventually you have to go through just like a child playing with the stove, and the mother says, "Don't play with the stove; it's hot." But this is hot. Don't touch this. The mother can tell him 20 times, day in and day out. If that child is hard-headed and determined enough to play with the stove still, he or she is not going to learn their lesson until they get their hand burned on the stove. So sometimes a lot of the situations that people go on, they have to get burnt in order to know that stove is hot.
So I've got to ask this question. I ask it of all my guests. What is your favorite coffee shop treat?
I say I like going to the donut shops, but this time I made a exception to come to your coffee shop.
Oh, well, thank you. So you're a fan of the donut.
Yeah, I love donuts.
I like my donuts too, but I gotta have those coffee shop baked goods. I like my scones and my coffee as well. All right, what one piece of advice would you give to a teenager who's just starting out on their dating adventure?
To a teenager?
We'll say 18, 19, 20-year-old, teenage young adult, not 13, 14. But what advice would you give to someone, 18, 19, 20? They're dating, but they're not sure what they want.
I'll tell them to live in the moment. You'll meet 100 to 1 million people in your lifetime. You're not all those people are not gonna remain in your life. You'll meet somebody that'll be there for a minute. You'll meet somebody that'll be there for a month, maybe 2. You'll meet a girl that you like that she'll be around for 6 months to a year. But not everybody you meet in life is going to be there forever. So just take heed to that. And every person that you meet, they're gonna give you something. They're gonna provide you with something. Provide you with a smile, a frown, a laugh, or a cry. You just gotta take heed to everything that a person provides you that you meet. Say it's a self growing process. It's your development and growth process in life. So a lot of people meet somebody, they be so attached to that person that when they lose them, they're heartbroken and they feel like they can't live another day without that person. These people that come into your life are temporary. Only a handful will stick around that you'll journey on in life, and they'll be with you for a lifetime, whether you're friends, family, and so on. But a lot of the people that you meet are only there for a moment, just glimpse moments. So just take heed with that and just live life. There's so much to live for. There's so much life ahead in somebody's journey. So don't be too caught up in the moment. And when you have relationships, when you find somebody that you truly love, understand you're at a young age that you haven't even known what life can bring you and known the value of love. So the things that they're going through is merely infatuation.
Well, that sounds like outstanding advice. Now, as I do with every guest in the coffee shop, why don't you give out your social media contact information?
Okay, you can find me on www.theboysyouDon't.com. I'm on Instagram, The Boys You Don't, and by Alexander. You can find my email address, alexanderatlas2017@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook, Alexander Atlas LLC. You can contact me any one of those at any time.
All right, well, we have come to my favorite part of the show, where I get to pour myself a cup of coffee, snatch this copy of The Boys You Don't Take Home Game Secrets off the table, and settle down with what promises to be a very entertaining book. And for those of you trying to catch up with me, you can find me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse. And of course, you're always welcome to check out the coffee shop at jessyscoffeeshop.com. And I will see you folks next time in the coffee shop.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.